It's Seli versus ElDiablo. It's a best of 3. Seli is in the top left corner in the blue shorts, and in the red shorts in the bottom right corner it is ElDiablo. So let's see what these players get up to. A bit of Terran v Terran. We're on Death Aura again. Why is Death Aura? Why does everybody play Death Aura? I mean, there's nothing wrong with Death Aura, but it just seems that that is the only map we... No, I think we've had a couple on Light Shed, haven't we? But, you know, anyway. Yeah, ElDiablo going for the less orthodox location of the supply depot. You know, to be honest, when you're playing against another Terran, it's not really that important. If I'm playing Terran, I'm probably going to Reaper Scout you rather than Worker Scout, so the wall isn't going to keep me out. And it's not like I'm about to floodlings or anything like that, or melee units, so the wall isn't that useful. If I do push, it'll be with ranged units that can shoot over a wall anyway. So yeah, it doesn't really matter, is the point I'm making. Just doesn't matter. Who cares? This guy's going to go ahead. He's going to build another supply depot good and early. No risk of getting supply blocked here. Double gas. Yeah, double gas. Plenty of gas he's going to have. Plenty of gas. Generally, as a Terran, you know, unless you've got something very specific in mind, you just don't need 2 gas this early in the game. You know, even if you're going to get a very fast Reaper out, you can still do that with 1 gas. You don't really need the 2. So Seli with the quick expand, I like it. Why wouldn't you? What I'd like even more is if he'd done a quick expand having scouted his opponent. You know, even if you're scouting, if you're going to throw down a fast expo, it's best to know that they're not about to come at you. You know, that they're not parked, that they haven't built like just 3 barracks here and they're about to come through the front door. It's good to know that sort of stuff. But, you know, to be fair, Seli is now scouting with the Reaper and is going to get a good handle on what's happening. So I don't mind the fast expo at all. I'm all for it. Looking in the production tab, factory finishes up for ElDiablo a little bit earlier than Seli's. The Reaper's going to come around the back here, might get a bit of harass on these workers. In fact, doesn't even bother. You know, he's got more important things to do. And again, I like it. You know, it's, yeah, by all means, use the Reaper to harass some workers. But the key thing is to keep it alive and get the scouting information. You know, don't come up here, harass this worker, and then lose the Reaper before it's had a good look around. Can be nice to pick off a worker or 2, but, you know, in the EMS League, losing 1, maybe 2 workers probably isn't going to change the outcomes from the game very significantly. An armory being built here that I'm a little bit curious about. Maybe ElDiablo's been watching. Maybe ElDiablo's watched my Thor build. It's a Thor build. Yeah, yes, ElDiablo. Yes. I'd take it all back. The 2 gas is absolutely what you need to do. Brilliant. So unfortunately supply blocked. He doesn't have the orbital command, and that's a shame. One of the features that the orbital command allows you to do, in addition to dropping mules, is to drop extra supply on a supply depot, which just gets you an extra 8 supply out of that depot or something. So if you do accidentally find yourself supply blocked, it's like a get out of jail free card. Other side of the map, Seli's going for the swap here. He's got a bunker at the front door, and if he pulls workers and repairs the bunker, then the Thor is going to have a hard time busting that. This Reaper, unfortunately, not pulled back in time, and so does die to the Marines. You know, Reapers, you can kite Marines all day with a Reaper, because when you pull the Reaper back, it will heal itself. So Seli has kind of ElDiablo's doing this completely blind. He doesn't know what is waiting for him. Seli, I mean, he did get in and have a look around, but I don't know if if he clicked on the armory, if he clicked on it, saw the double glass and clicked on the armory, he might well have an inkling that this is coming. But it is going to be fairly late. You know, we're at the sort of 5 minutes mark past, and the Thor is still, you know, the best part of a minute away from his opponent's base. You want your stuff to turn up together. You don't want the Marines to get ahead. It looks to me, with the siege tank in the back, that Seli is going to be more than all right here. You know, if the siege tank sieges up, those Marines simply wasted there. If the siege tank sieges up, it does splash damage. What that means, you know, a Thor will take an awful lot of siege tank shots to kill it, but the problem is the splash damage from the siege tank will kill the workers, and so you won't have workers repairing. With the two siege tanks here, actually this one's probably a little bit too far back. The Thor will fire on this wall out of the range of that, but with the two siege tanks here, Seli is going to be absolutely fine. So you can see that the siege tank doing damage to the Thor is ugly enough. Not all of the SCVs are actually repairing, and that is also a problem. A lot of them were just standing watching. Let's just check what happened there again. The trick to getting your SCVs to repair is the little repair icon that you'll have down in the bottom right. If you right click that, it sets them onto auto repair. So you can see that a lot of these SCVs are not actually, the Thor isn't being repaired at all. Its health isn't going up. These SCVs are just following it about. They're not actually repairing it. And for that reason, it's died pretty sharpish. And now this just feels a bit awkward. So yeah, you do have to get the SCVs repairing. There is a second Thor on the map, so what I'd love to see here, oh actually 3 Thors are, what I'd really like to see is a Thor drop. You know, drop, oh, the starport is coming down, get one of these bad boys into the starport and just drop it into the back here, and have a bit of fun with that. Unfortunate then that the Thor drop didn't work out on this occasion, but you know, kudos for giving it a try. I do like to see sorry, a Thor rush in the mix there. Right, hang on, I'm just gonna have to take the mic off for a second here. I'm about to catch fire. Okay, so where are we at? As you would imagine, the Thor rush having not worked out, ElDiablo is unfortunately way behind of where he should be. It looks like Seli's going to do a drop here. For some reason there's a Reaper in this medevac. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I really want to see this drop come in. Now he's kind of parked here. You do need to land it, so he's scanned ahead, which isn't a crazy plan. Check for turrets and stuff like that, but if he gets in here and gets the siege tank out, then he can do well. This is a lot of Thor though, so these Thors will one-shot the medevac out of the sky, and all of this stuff will ultimately die. But it's getting the Thors unfortunately are kind of bottlenecked here and not coming through, but they are going to clean this up awfully quickly. Needs to just shoot that tank as well. Yeah, so a few losses while the Thors were kind of stuck here, and he needs to replace these workers in gas, otherwise he's very quickly going to find himself short of gas. Now, whether Seli knows it or not, that is actually pretty serious damage. ElDiablo doesn't have a saturated natural here, so he's going to have to work very hard to get his worker count back up, and we're going to see a huge disparity. Look in the income tab there. I always forget that it tells you this stuff down the bottom and I don't need to pop up the things. Yeah, you know, these numbers, these numbers, it's a bigger army, it's way more workers. It's just Seli now taking his third with the natural saturated. There are upgrades coming in. If we look at the upgrades tab, we can see that is looking healthy. You know, it seems it's hard to imagine a way that Seli doesn't win here. That said, I've been surprised before. needs to pull these medevacs back because Thors have a significant range in the air, and if the medevacs come in the front, the Thors will simply pick them off. And you want those medevacs at the back. The trick is to click your medevacs onto the Marines so that they follow them, and then try not to grab them together with your army. Unfortunately, the medevacs are at the front, and they're going to take some damage, but now that everything's up in the face of this, I don't think any of it's really going to matter. There's enough Marines here to just gun everything down. The siege tanks in the back will allow out some additional damage as well. The army supply plummets, and it is GG. So, you know, the moral victory goes to ElDiablo for attempting that Thor rush, very pleasing, but the actual victory goes to Seli for just a solid build and robust play. GG.